All right, and we're rolling now, so here we go.
It's Cardinals time.
Hey,
Hey!
everybody. Kairi091 hanging out with you for this week's edition of Kairi's Cards Cast. Alongside Brian Lutz, as always. How you feeling today,
Bada
Lutz?
bing! Bada boom!
Lutz is feeling
Bada
well,
bing bang boom!
apparently. But not only Brian Lutz today, we also have our good friends from Red Ghost Sports Talk, the one and only Mr. Red Ghost,
Hey, what's up, brother?
and accompanied, as per usual, by the Magic Man.
What's up, Magic Man in the house? What's happening?
Man, I'm so disappointed because I didn't get a grown man business or a click clack. So,
That was coming next, man. We just had to say what's up to you.
Oh.
But like always, grown man business.
Click, clack.
Yeah, all right. So, okay, guys.
Bears are who we thought
We
they
got
were.
us a pretty interesting slate of NFL action coming up this weekend. So, let's just get right on to it and get on with the picks. And at the end of the show, we're gonna have some listen up loots. I got some questions and comments from some people on Reddit for loots, and at the end of the show, we'll hit those. And yeah, and that'll be today's show. It's gonna be pretty good. Let's get started. The first game of the weekend, Saturday afternoon, we got Kansas City Chiefs going to Houston to take on the Texans. Let's get some picks, guys. I got my money on the Chiefs.
I'm going with I hate the Chiefs, so I'm going with the Texans, baby.
Magic Man.
I'm gonna ride with the Texans because I like my man number 99,
JJ Watt.
JJ Watts.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's my man.
Lutz.
That'll be the Chiefs' first loss in 11 games?
Yeah, they've been 10 in a row, man. So yeah, that'd be that. That would Lutz. Is that what you have it?
Give me the Texans.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Hoyer the Destroyer gonna come out there and get it done, huh?
Guess, man.
Or Brandon Whedon. You guys
No,
hear?
it's Whedon.
You
Yeah,
guys,
it's
Yeah,
Whedon.
sweet.
you guys hear about what Brandon Whedon said to Jerry Jones? Because
No, I didn't that.
when the Dallas Cowboys let go of Brandon Whedon, I forgot what it was, but Jerry Jones talked some smack on Brandon Whedon about how he's like whatever he wasn't. Oh no, what Jerry Jones said was
Yeah.
if we would have started Matt Castle instead of Brandon Whedon, we probably would have won some of those games while Tony Romo was out. Like Jerry Jones said that about Brandon Whedon, and then Brandon Whedon is like, whatever, man. Jerry Jones is going to be watching the playoffs from his couch while I'm playing in them. So
Yeah, Don't you
I
remember
love it.
how? Don't you remember how earlier Jerry Jones, in defense of Whedon, was like, "He's the most gifted passer you're ever gonna see."
Yep.
Yeah.
I do not like Jerry Jones, guys. Like I do not like that dude. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, the Saturday evening game. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Cincinnati to take on AJ McCarron and the Bengals. Lutz, you pick first on this one.
I mean, I almost feel like because AJ McCarron's starting, despite the fact that before he won that game, an Alabama quarterback hadn't won an NFL game since 1987. So interesting stat there. But like I think gives him a better chance than Dalton. I don't know why, man. I'm a believer in that curse thing with the Bengals and
Okay,
like
so
the prime time shit.
you
I
think
got the Bengals beating the Steelers just because McCarron's going to be starting.
Red Ghost.
Hey, that's a good pick. Tell you the truth, McCarron been playing pretty good, man. He impressed me against my boys, Denver Broncos. But I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh because I want my revenge.
Okay. Magic Man.
This is a toss up, but I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh got the weapons on offense, so I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
it's a toss-up game.
I'm gonna go with Cincinnati because I'm mad at Pittsburgh, but not for the reason that most Cardinals fans are. I'm mad at Pittsburgh because they took the Jets' spot in the playoffs, and I don't like that. Todd Bowles was supposed to win the Super Bowl. Well, was supposed to go to the Super Bowl against Bruce Arians this year. He wasn't going to win it because Bruce Arians. But now that's not going to happen because Pittsburgh took their sixth seed away from them. So I am not cool with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. All right, let's move on. Sunday game. The earlier game we got Seattle Seahawks going to the frozen tundra of Minneapolis to take on the Vikings. And on game day, the high is forecasted to be 0 degrees in an outdoor stadium.
That's gonna be the freaking difference maker. You watch.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
You watch,
Seattle
man.
or Minnesota? Magic Man, you hit this one first.
Oh man,
Magic Man. Oh, what's up? I'm a Russell Wilson fan, so I'm riding with Seattle. I like
Okay.
Russell. That's my boy.
Red Ghost.
I love this one. AD all day. AP Adrian Peterson.
Mm.
I'm going with Vikings, man. He gonna get his revenge.
Yeah.
The Viking defense is looking good, man.
Let me ask you this before we get to Lutz, Red Ghost. What kind of day does AP have? Does he have like an average AP day, or does he straight up go off? And can Seattle shut down AP?
He's gonna be mad. He's gonna be angry. I'm gonna give him 200 yards, man. 3
Oh.
touchdowns.
Oh my goodness, that'll be a monster
He'll
game.
take
I'd
him.
love to see it. Lutz, how about you? Who do you
He'll
got?
take him. If he does that, oh my god, dude, that almost might make the whole postseason for me, regardless of what Arizona does.
Mm,
I like the Vikings. I don't have a number 2 team, but I got a soft spot for them because of our family connection with Minnesota. And I hate the Seahawks. Like, they're a good team. I hate them because they're good. They hate us because they ain't us.
oh
And
god.
I want to see the Vikings win that, man. I don't know if they got what it takes. But I think that weather situation might play in their favor.
I
We'll
Yep.
see
would.
though, because they've been going through the air a lot. They've been having to do a lot of passing game. They're not a lot of grinding and everything anymore on the ground. So that really changes what a quarterback can do. So we'll see how Russell Wilson can adapt to
It
that.
is. I'll tell you what. It is hard to catch an ice cold frozen football because they are hard as a rock. It is difficult for guys to catch those. So, if I'm picking Seattle. But
Yeah,
if I'm
you got
hoping,
to, but fuck.
I'm hoping Minnesota. But
I'm picking Minnesota, dude. I hate Seattle. I'm picking against them.
all right, then the last game of Wild Card Weekend, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to our nation's capital to take on Kirk Cousins and the Washington Redskins. You like that?
You like that?
You like that?
Red Ghost, tell us who's gonna win this game.
I'm going with Redskins, baby.
Hell yeah.
Really?
Kirk Cousins, he's about to make his big paycheck for next season on this game right here.
I want to talk about Kirk Cousins in a minute after we get the rest of these picks. Lutz, who do you got?
I got the same, man. I got the Skins. They're actually playing hot football. Go look at their last couple wins, and they're like winning like differential or point differential. Man, like they've been quietly not that bad of a team. Just that whole division's been really like looked down upon. But I mean, considering what they were supposed to do at the beginning of the season and how Kirk's really taken like control of that team, they're running pretty well right now. Not to mention Green Bay just doesn't look like they can freaking buy a double-digit score. So
And finally, Magic Man, who do you got?
That's an easy pick. Redskins. I picked the Redskins months ago. I told
Red Ghost.
Red Ghost that the Redskins were playing good ball, and I'm not surprised that they're in the playoffs. So I'm gonna ride with Redskins.
Well, I guess I got to make it unanimous. I'll pick the Redskins too, but I want to say something about the Redskins and Kirk Cousins. I feel okay. Do we all agree that if both Kirk Cousins and if Kirk Cousins and RG3 they're both healthy, who do you start?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, right?
Kirk
We all
Cousins in that system, yeah, of course.
okay?
That's how
So with that in mind, I just learned that it was the only reason Kirk Cousins is even there is because of Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan did not want RG3 to be their guy. That Dan Snyder, the owner, kind of pushed that on him and brought RG3 in against the wishes of his head coach. Kirk Cousins was Mike Shanahan's fallback guy because he knew RG3 was not going to be the guy, so he grabbed Kirk Cousins in the 4th round that same year. The same year they picked up RG3 with the 2nd overall pick.
yeah.
They picked up Kirk Cousins, and because Mike Shanahan believed that he was going to need like a fallback, and that's where Kirk Cousins came from. So I think that speaks a lot to Mike Shanahan's skill, and he got a really raw deal in Washington. I feel like the Redskins did him so dirty, and I'm glad to see he's entertaining the idea of coaching again, maybe for like Miami or somebody. I'd love to see Mike Shanahan coach again. How about you, Red
Yeah.
Ghost?
Yeah, me too. I agree with you. Yeah, they gave him the raw end of the stick. They just don't see this when you want to be stubborn. The owner, the president, general manager. This is when stubbornness come into play. They spent all this money and they gonna make their decision be right, and they couldn't make it be right because RG3 he just get hurt too much. He's frail.
Yeah.
So that was the best move that Shanahan could ever have done. And
I know you as a Denver fan. I know you got to have a soft spot for Mike Shanahan.
but
I
yeah,
mean,
that's my boy, man. That's my boy. I like to see him back in the league, and you made a good point. Um, Miami Dolphins, I like to see him there. I like to see him. Who else? I like to see him with the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
yeah, well, but unfortunately, Mike Shanahan has too much clout to ever go coach for Jerry Jones because you've seen when good coaches come to coach for Jerry Jones, they leave after a year. Like Bill Parcells, he wasn't having it because Jerry Jones tried to tell him how to coach the team, and Bill Parcells is like, "Look, you want me to do it or do you want to do it?"
See, I think I ain't mean to cut you off. I think it'll be like Jimmy Johnson
Yeah,
situation. See,
that's
Jimmy Johnson fought with him the whole 4 years and 3 Super Bowls that they went
Mhm.
and won. So that's why I can see that happen with Shanahan because he's old school.
Oh man. All right. So let's see. I don't know. Okay. All right. I think. Oh yeah. That's all 4 games. So we already picked all 4 games. Let's talk about the divisional round real quick, and then we'll wrap up. As a Broncos fan, Red Ghost, who in the AFC, or is there anybody that you're worried about Denver having to play in the divisional round, or you think they got it no matter who they bump into?
No, I'm not worried, baby. We got we the new age Baltimore Ravens, baby. Our defense is incredible,
Yeah, but
and they not.
y'all don't have Trent Dilfer at quarterback though, so.
We got Peyton Manning, baby.
How about
so
you, Lutz? For the NFC, is there anybody that you don't want the Cardinals to have to play in the divisional round, or even the NFC
No.
Championship for that matter?
Well, NFC Championship's looking a little too far ahead. In the divisional round, we have either the Packers, the Vikings, or the Redskins. And I mean, I think I'd probably want to
Wait a
see the
second. So
Vikings.
I haven't actually done the math in my head. There's no scenario by which we play the Seahawks in the divisional round, right?
Nope. We would only play the Seahawks or the Panthers in the on the conference championship, and that would be after the Seahawks and Panthers would have to play each other to get there.
Hmm.
So low key, like that's actually a better path for us. So I mean, I think all that factors into how the Cardinals actually looked on Sunday. But anyway, that's just me being optimistic. But I think I'd like to see the Vikings at least out of those guys. The
Really?
Redskins kind of too, though. But the Packers, I want to see the most. I
Oh
think they're
boy,
the
because we
weakest.
just
But
we
they're
just, we
not
just
gonna
wiped the floor
they're
with those dudes.
they're not getting past the Skins even. So
All right. Anyways, guys, so that's it for this week's thing of picks here. I think. All right. So I want to thank Mr. Red Ghost and the Magic Man for dropping in to tell us who to put our money on this weekend in football. Then again, Red Ghost from Red Ghost Sports Talk. You can find him on YouTube, Red Ghost Sports Talk, or Red Ghost One, and on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Red Ghost _sports.
Red Ghost _sports. So there you go. Check out his stuff if you haven't already. Channel's growing like a weed. You want to get in there now and subscribe early so that a year from now, when he's got 150,000 subscribers, you can say that you were one of the first ones to be there. So, anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. And we'll check in with you next week and we'll talk about the divisional round. How's that sound?
Hey, that sounds great, man. I appreciate y'all inviting us again.
Oh yeah.
And, it's always a pleasure, man. We have fun talking about football with you guys.
Oh yeah.
All right, give me one last grown man business.
Grown man business.
Click clack.
So, at this point, Lutz and I are going to talk a little bit about the Black Monday coaching situations in the NFL from all the coaches and folks that were let go or stepped down forcibly, like Tom Coughlin, and see what Lutz thinks and what's going to happen from here. The most intriguing thing, contrary to what I was expecting, Chuck Pagano got himself a contract extension, and so did GM Ryan Grigson. Lutz, what do you think about that?
I think it's a good move. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people thought Pagano was on his way out. He's a good coach, though. I'm not sure if they just needed to sort out some, like, I'm not sure what it was that they were trying to sort out, but I don't know. Like, it's continuity, yada, yada. He's not a bad guy. Who are you going to replace him with, really, that you expect to do better? He's a good leader. He gets the command and respect of his team. So, and also, he just had a lot of issues this year with the roster. So,
When
I think it makes
when
sense
I
to.
really think about it, the fact that Pagano was able to like keep any sense of winning going on in the Colts with their quarterback woes really does speak to the fact that like maybe he's a better coach than I was giving him credit for. So I don't know. Maybe I just got caught up in the media narrative that he was going to get fired. When I think about reasons why he'd be fired, I really don't have a good one. I mean, he's had success there. Well, they won the division every year except this one that he's been there. You know, I mean, they've also been like god awful division, but still. Tom Coughlin resigned, but we all know that was really like he was told like, okay, dude, either resign, with dignity, or we're gonna have to fire you. So he resigned. Eli Manning cried about it. Lutz, how
Did
do
he
you feel?
cry? Really? He cried?
Well, he was definitely getting misty-eyed when he was talking about it in the locker room after like the team meeting where it was announced. It's the only coach he's ever played for in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's won 2 Super Bowls with the guy. So like I get it, but how do you feel? How do you feel about the Giants, and who do you think might be a fit there?
Man, I don't know why they got rid of Coughlin. It's just stupid.
Well,
I don't know
they've had
who'd be,
really bad seasons in the last 4 or 5 years. They've kind of been not that great, right? But other than that, they were before that. I don't know.
They were just so close this year. I mean, they had they just like hardly lost some of those games. I mean, you can't help but put some of that on the coach, how they lost some of them. Just clock management issues where they had a lead, and like the play calling just allowed the other team to get the ball when like they didn't need to and shit like that. And so like there was some of that going on, but it's just like the margin of loss on some of those. I mean, they're just so close to having a really dominant season that getting another playmaker, going through the draft again, they could easily like turn that around, I think, for next year. So I don't know. But it's not like it seems like they're totally shaking everything up and like rebuilding or anything. But I just don't know why you lose the coach that's brought you so much success, and like you guys are so close this year to making some noise. I don't know who'd be a good fit, man. I don't know.
Okay, I think that the situation in New Orleans is really interesting because they've shown their hand and said that they want to trade Sean Payton, but they're not going to trade him for cheap. They want like a first or second round pick for their coach. First of all,
Yeah.
coaching trades pretty damn rare. I mean, they can happen because you're under contract and they can trade you, just like John Gruden was traded from the Raiders to the Bucks and then promptly kicked the shit out of the Raiders in the Super Bowl the following year. But Sean Payton. Now that they've said they want to do this, what if they don't get any takers and they have to finish this guy's contract? You know, like then what? Then what if Sean Payton has to come back as their head coach after they've already told the whole world that they don't want him there anymore?
I don't know. Like they should just keep the guy.
I
That's
don't
really
see
what I
why not.
think. They should
I don't
just
see who's going to do any better for him in New Orleans, to be honest. Sean Payton is
yeah. Plus, I
Sean
mean,
Payton brought them the
he's
only
already
success
like
they've ever
so
had.
he's already so established like with that franchise and having won them a Super Bowl and everything. I just don't understand why they're going to get rid of him, have him go coach somewhere else, and who else they're going to bring in. I don't get it.
The biggest troubling news, in my opinion. Okay, I get why the Niners fired Tom Sula. I understand that because he was never supposed to be the coach. He only wound up as the coach because the guy that they wanted said no because they insisted on keeping Tom Sula there. So that's how Tom Sula got the head coaching job. I get why they're getting rid of him. It's kind of sucks for him and his awesome, glorious mustache. But at the same time, I don't know what more evidence Jed York needs to realize it's time to cut ties with Trent Baalke.
Yeah. Well, he's not like that good of an owner, so I'm not surprised that He's struggling with some of those things. But what's interesting about that Tom Sula arrangement was that he had so much guaranteed money that just to kick him out right now, he had to be paid out $10 million. And like if you think about what the difference, I mean, he still has to get paid that on top of whoever they sign and pay as head coach this coming season. And you're going to imagine that whoever that is, like, in order to sort of like re-win over the fan base, is going to have to be kind of a marquee name that they're going to have to pay a lot to anyway. So then you ask, like, why was there such an issue with the discrepancy in like the Harbaugh contract where he wanted to get paid a couple more million a year? He didn't want to do it. And now you've paid out like the amount of money you paid out Tom Sula like doesn't make sense, man. I mean, that's like more than what you were gonna have to give Harbaugh to like keep coaching there and make him happy. So like it just seems like poorly managed, like top down. So I don't know. Balky does suck. Like he wasn't able to, with everything else, get guys back on that roster to do anything. But that might have been difficult considering how Tom Sula and everything else was looking at the team. I mean, it was probably hard to lure in free agents.
What would you say about Chip Kelly
Dude,
taking the Tennessee job
they
and coaching
can't.
Mariota?
They can't do that. No, Tennessee. He doesn't. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of buzz about that outside of just like people. Like in terms of media and everything. That he said, like apparently Chip Kelly said he wanted the Niners job. Like he's like I guess reached out to San Francisco about coaching there and like coaching Colin Kaepernick and everything. So I don't want to see that happening, dude, because like the NFC West can't have just meme coaches. And that would be all that would be. Just a bunch of meme ass coaches.
What do you
Like
mean?
the funny, silliest coaches in all of NFL would be in the NFC
I
West.
wouldn't put Jeff Fisher in that group. Well, I guess he is a caricature of himself at this point.
Yeah, he is. He's a wing.
Dude, speaking of Wangs, did you know that with Tom Coughlin stepping down, that makes Pete Carroll the oldest NFL coach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like 70. I think
Good
he's
for him.
actually like 65 or something. But the point is that he's older than Bruce Arians. I wouldn't have known that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't look like it. The dude looks like he's like 51. He looks pretty young, dude.
Yeah, he's pretty California.
Let's see who else isn't around anymore. Dolphins have a vacancy. They're going to consider Campbell as their head coach, the guy that's been like interiming. I don't think
Hmm.
that's a good idea. Mike Shanahan, as I was saying with Red Ghost, feels like he might be a good fit down there, and he is interested in the job. He's come out and said that. For some
Yeah.
reason, people are throwing around Nick Saban. Who Nick Saban's not going anywhere, dude. Like
Didn't he already? He had a stint in the NFL, right? And he was just not good.
with the Dolphins, and he
Oh.
wasn't any good. Nick Saban left Florida. Florida or Florida State. I don't know which one. He left one of those two to come coach the Dolphins, and then he sucked, and then he wound up with the Alabama job, and freaking look, he's done great down there. So Nick Saban ain't going anywhere, man. I think that one's crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean that's like probably the most popular college team. And there's tons of glory in that. I wouldn't see why you'd walk away from that situation either. Just like this total
Plus,
superhero.
he's having so much success there. Like, why walk away unless an NFL team offers him an amount of money that he just cannot say no to, which is
I don't
possible.
know. I'm sure that he's like, it can't be that much more than Alabama already pays him, and like the benefit can't really be there.
Mm-mm.
God,
Okay, here's a question. The first one's easy. The second one a little bit more challenging. The first one is by the start of next season, is Adam Gase a head coach in the NFL?
hopefully for the Detroit Lions.
Hopefully for the Detroit Lions, you say.
Mm.
Why is that? Why do you think the
Because I
Detroit
like the
Lions?
Lions, and like they've got some decent offensive pieces and some vets there. And I think if they had a really good leader and schemer on the offense come and like take over, because they've got I think a decent like defense and coordinator right now that they could complement. I just think that he'd really like immediately improve that team to like a contender in their division. So I don't know. The Lions just one of those teams I think that deserves a year of some actual success.
I agree, and I think Adam Gase could probably bring it to him. Hugh Jackson's another name that's been floating around. Hugh Jackson had a 1-year head coaching stint with the Raiders, and I feel like they did not give him enough time to even, or the right pieces to do anything, and then they fired him after 1 season. So I feel like Hugh Jackson might be a good head coach somewhere, but I mean I don't know that. That's just my feeling is that he didn't get a
Yeah,
fair shake.
same with Tom Cable. Like they made him a head coach for a whole season, and he actually brought him to 8-8, which was pretty good for them.
Hmm.
I mean, they haven't done that since, even with the actual decent roster that they're starting to put together. So
The Raiders just can't figure shit out coaching wise.
no,
They haven't had a good head coach since John Gruden, and
can't figure shit out.
and they traded him. So um Doug Marrone is another name I've been hearing who head coached the Bills in 2013 and 2014, and was fired and is now the O-line coach for the Jaguars. But and the Jaguars have been having pretty good success. Blake Bortles has been looking
Didn't
good.
Destiny's Child write a song about the Bills?
I think that took me a minute, but I got there though. He's trifling, good for nothing kind of brother. All right. I think that's all of the head coaching vacancies.
Can you pay my Buffalo Bills?
Can you pay my Buffalo Bills? Maybe then we can chill. Mike Pettin was fired. That happened. Who's surprised?
Surprise!
Who's surprised about that one? Honestly, pick any name you want to replace him. They'll be gone by this time next year. Johnny Manziel was spotted in a club wearing a blonde wig and a fake mustache.
A fucking wig and fake mustache. Our team is so boring off the field, man. Johnny Manziel takes a picture of him and his dog laying on the floor at his place in Ohio. Goes to Vegas, puts on a blonde wig and a fake mustache to hit up the fucking casino to gamble. While he's out partying, he fucking posts that picture to Instagram, tags his Ohio location to it, and says Saturday nights, looking all indoors and resting while he's out getting schmocked. Dude, this guy's just on another level. And Jerry Jones is probably watching it and I like this kid's gumption. And he used that word too.
He just makes shit up to describe what he likes about Manziel. I was thinking Manziel might wind up in Houston too, because they obviously need a franchise quarterback. I was thinking that somewhere in Texas. Manziel belongs in Texas, man. He's a Texas boy. I don't know what he was doing trying to move to the Mistake by the Lake, dude. He needs to go back to Texas.
Well, it wasn't his choice, man. He got drafted by him. If you remember seeing him on draft day, first of all, he was butthurt every round, every selection made that wasn't him as it got deeper in the first round, as if he really deserved to go first overall or something. And then it got down to pick number 30 or whatever the fuck he was.
22. He was 22nd.
The Browns, 27 or whatever. And then the Browns picked him, and he was just still on his phone, talking to somebody on his phone, and they picked him, and he didn't even react. You could tell he was just putting it off, trying to not make it a reality as long as he could.
Do you know who the first quarterback drafted that year was? The only quarterback drafted ahead of him, actually, Blake Bortles.
Very cool, yeah, Blake Bortles. I was gonna say that. You didn't give me a chance.
Would you?
No.
I would have drafted him ahead of Johnny Manziel. I would have drafted who was drafted after him. Teddy Bridgewater was drafted.
Bridgewater.
I would have drafted him over Johnny Manziel. Derek Carr, easily over Manziel. Who else was drafted at quarterback?
And that's who Mike Pettin wanted. Mike Pettin wanted Derek Carr. I don't know. Everybody had been making a big deal of Teddy Bridgewater. And he kind of fell off a little bit by the time the draft came around. But I don't like Teddy Bridgewater that much. I really don't like his face. I don't like the guy's face. He has this weird kid face.
What?
Yeah, I feel this kid face, man. It doesn't look very manly.
Okay. All right. Well, there's that.
Go look at a picture of his face if you
I saw he has a commercial where he takes a selfie with a fan at a Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Yeah, I'm who's this kid? I'm little Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh my God, he does. He does have a child face, Teddy Bridgewater. Oh my gosh, He is a young-looking fella. It was fun to see Tavares Jackson play, huh? I mean, no, it
Yeah.
wasn't, but it was funny to see Tavares Jackson get out there and play for a little bit on Sunday. You guys noticed that we haven't really brought up last week's non-game.
Non-game.
It wasn't a game. It didn't count.
It was not a game. It's a non-game. In practice, all the players were like, "Man, let's just worry about the playoffs. We don't care about this non-game."
Bruce Arians admitted that. He said they had been slacking in practice. It was slacktus all week. I like that word, slacktus. And he said that in my estimation, it looks like the players just went on their bye week a little early. It sucks because now everyone's saying maybe Arizona ain't that good. Maybe they've been exposed. Maybe Seattle is the legit contender.
Well, the truth though is that they still maintain the top tier, the top rung Super Bowl odds over Seattle. They are tied with the Pats and the Panthers at 9-2 odds for a Super Bowl.
And us.
And then it comes Seattle at 10-2.
10-1.
And then, huh?
Seattle is 10-1.
No, they're 10-2. Shut up. They were 5-1.
Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, they're 5-1. Okay.
And the Texans are like 120-2. I'm just doing it to 2 because that's how the Cardinals.
That's where the Cardinals are at. Right. So that really puts Seattle like a tick behind us. They're not even a full point.
It's a shave kind of like behind us, but not like a substantial amount. I mean, your return on a bet is not like very different between a Seattle or Arizona bet.
So in your estimation, I guess it looks like the bookies who stand to make or lose money on their predictions didn't think that Arizona was exposed.
No, they didn't. They looked at the whole season. They see Arizona already beat Seattle, and they saw that, we pulled our starters out pretty early. Well, not pretty early, but we obviously didn't come to really play. And if it was a playoff game, obviously that's going to be a little different.
How do you feel about the side opposite Patrick Peterson?
I mean,
we put Gerard in the slot, but that leaves Bethel on the edge. How do you feel about
have to like step up, man?
How do you feel about Bethel trying to cover playoff caliber receivers?
Or he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to show me how I'm gonna feel about it.
I'm just saying, the last time that we tried to go deep into the playoffs, we had freaking Dominic Rogers, Cromartie, and Antrell Roll, and
well, we gonna be all right.
Lute says we gonna be all right. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Kairi's Cards Cast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you next week in time to get you ready for the Cardinals' first playoff game, but not their last. It's just gonna be the first one.
Right.
Thank you for. Well, wait, no, hang on. I can't say bye yet. I have to start the song. Wait, hang on. Let me let the song start. There it is. All right, bye everyone. Luke, tell them.
Hi guys, bye guys. See you at the division round, guys.
Bye.